Urban combat encompasses a wide range of different tactics and procedures to ensure a soldier's survival and effectiveness while operating inside of an urban environment. An urban environment is a dangerous one. The line between enemy and friendly is blurred. The massive civilian populace allows for enemy insurgents to blend into the crowd with ease. The narrow alleyways and high rooftops enable the enemy to easily ambush friendly troops at a moment's notice. There is also the possibility of improvised explosive devices being utilized by the enemy, either placed directly into the ground or jury-rigged to a vehicle. Sometimes they may simply strap it to themselves. Even with all that said, it is vital that we, Americans, continue to operate in this environment. This is due to the fact that cities and towns are major hubs for civilian activity, and as such, we must protect the lives of the innocent. If we simply avoid such hubs, the enemy will terrorize the local populace and conduct illegal trade to fund their insurgency. An urban environment provides a new range of angles that are otherwise not usually encountered, that being directly up, more specifically, vertically. A typical soldier spends much of their time looking directly ahead or to their sides. This creates tunnel vision and prevents soldiers from detecting things in their peripheral vision, such as snipers or spotters. To prevent this, utilize the 30-second rule. Just as the name implies, check your vertical angles every 30 seconds. If all men make a habit out of it, we'll have the space above us covered at all times. Spacing is an important thing that all soldiers should make a habit out of. It can either mean life or death in a combat scenario. Be sure to correct each other's mistakes. First, here's incorrect spacing. As you can see, there's absolutely no space in between each man. Now here's correct spacing. There's plenty of room to fit one, or even two soldiers in between each man. To demonstrate the importance of spacing, I will detonate a claymore in front of the first man. With improper spacing, the first man is fatally wounded, and the other two are severely wounded from the blast. With proper spacing, the first man is fatally wounded, the second man is slightly wounded, and the last man is untouched. With improper spacing, an enemy machine gunner can easily mow down an entire squad. Now, if you implement proper spacing, the enemy becomes much less effective. Formations are the bread and butter of the Marine fighting force. A lot of people tend to downplay them as merely a useless marching formation, but that is not the case. Just like with spacing, it can either mean life or death when done incorrectly. First off, here's the column formation. We utilize this formation when traveling. Since all men are in a straight line, it limits the possibility of detection. However, when coming under fire from the enemy, it isn't the greatest formation to be in. The lack of horizontal spread and large gap between each man makes engaging the enemy difficult. Now here's the stagger column formation. It is almost identical to the column formation, except that there is a noticeable zigzag in the line. We utilize this formation when traveling as well, but since the men are spread out horizontally, it makes engaging the enemy much easier. However, because of the spread, detection is highly likely. On paper, I will directly show you the proper technique to break out of this formation when coming under fire from the enemy. In the regular column formation, the goal is to swing the column into a line. It's time consuming, but vital to get all guns firing downrange. In the stagger column formation, the left side will form a line to the left, while the right side forms a line to the right. Both should connect in the middle. Another technique is to retreat into the nearby buildings or alleyways to pull a flanking maneuver upon the enemy. This is up to your superior's discretion. An effective clearing is a safe clearing. In order to survive in an urban environment, every soldier must understand how to clear a building. The procedure is simple, yet many overlook it. Rushing into a building means certain death. Before you can clear a building, you must first stack up on the door. Evenly disperse your team on both sides. The man closest to the door handle is the breacher. They open the door and go in second. The man closest to the hinges is the point man. They go in first. The point man must understand how to peek the door, or as they say, pie the corner. Pieing the corner is simple. So they rotate around the door frame so you limit the amount of angles you have to cover. Here's an example. As you can see, it really is a simple technique, but highly effective. After you're done clearing, make sure to mark the building so your team knows. When clearing a town, make sure to buddy up. Teams of 2 work best. That means you get to choose. Civilians are in abundance in an urban environment. They may seem harmless, but they are not to be ignored. Keep tabs. The procedure when dealing with civilians is keeping your distance. Do not engage them unless you're absolutely sure they're a threat. Here's an example of what not to do. And here's an example of what to do. Beware of suspicious persons. Finally, here's what to do in case of a nuclear attack. Simply, all in all, urban combat is relatively simple and easy to understand. With the right amount of practice, any soldier can become proficient in the techniques and procedures that were discussed.